Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Rezolve AI is down close to 5% today. There's no rhyme or reason for this, but I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, but rest assured that this, my friends, is an opportunity. Here in today's episode, we will be going over your breaking news today for Rezolve, any and all option activity, what the short sellers are doing, but really why I'm so excited about this company. There's no other opportunity in AI, stocks, at least, like Rezolve. Rezolve is one of one, and it's a reason why that's the reason why it's the largest position in my portfolio. In today's episode, I will share my position in the company as well and why I'm so excited, including, check it out, the inverse head and shoulders pattern that is forming for this company. What does that mean? What kind of upside could we expect to see in the days and weeks to come? We'll discuss that in today's episode. First things first, hit that like button. Secondly, subscribe to the channel and check out that link down below in the description of this video. If you want to come find undervalued AI stocks alongside us in the trading community, I actually just put $16,000 into a brand new stock today. And, well, check it out if you'd like to, down below in the description of today's episode. But with that said, let's get into what in the world is happening today with Rezolve AI. And it's actually quite simple. On Thursday, following earnings, the stock was up 24%. On Friday, the stock was up 8%. Okay, so you're giving back about 4.5% of that rally. Not super shocking. But you are forming or have formed an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Here is a shoulder. Here is the neck and the head. Here is the shoulder. An inverse head and shoulders pattern is the inverse of a head and shoulders pattern. Head and shoulders pattern tends to show downside is coming. Inverse head and shoulders pattern tends to show that upside is coming. Now, this is not a genius observation. It's quite a commonsensical one. Sure, inverse head and shoulder pattern, great, fine. But why is the upside really going to come in Rezolve? It's because there is no other opportunity within AI stocks like Rezolve. Rezolve is one of one. Rezolve is trading at 10 times lower of a valuation than other AI stocks. Why? Well, the big one is it's an undiscovered company. Even after the stock is up quite a bit. It was recently a $3 stock. Today it's $6.48. But it's massively undervalued, and it's actually gotten cheaper, believe that or not, since when I bought the stock at about $3 per share. It's cheaper today than it was at $3 a share. Isn't that crazy? That's because the company last week raised guidance by 50% for the end of this year, now targeting $150 million in ARR. That stands for annual recurring revenue. They also set a guidance target for next year at $500 million in ARR. That means the company trading at about a $1.2 billion valuation is a little bit over 2 times sales. Most companies that are comparable to Rezolve, even though there's not a great comparable because Rezolve is really one of one at this point, are trading anywhere from 15 to 100 times sales. Rezolve at 2 times next year's sales? There's literally no other opportunity like Rezolve in this market. Now, over this weekend, I asked Grok where the stock could go next year. Grok says that Rezolve AI could, in a bull case scenario, be anywhere between $47 and $155 per share, which I think is pretty accurate for a company like Rezolve. In a market space like retail commerce, I mean, we're in the baby stages for where this company is going to go. And there's a lot of people that ask me, like, am I selling and whatnot, considering I have almost $200,000 invested in the company. And the simple answer is, why would I sell? The company is executing beyond most people's even remote expectations. And it's trading 7 to 20 times cheaper than any other AI stock out there that's at least well known and popular. No, I have no plans in selling Rezolve anytime soon. In fact, I think now is a great time to buy the stock. And I am actively looking at raising my position further if we do see downside. But suggestive from the charts here, you have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which means the sellers are slowly going away. Now, I think there's still some residual, sellers from earnings and from, the short reports, people that just want to take the first opportunity they can to get out of the stock. So as the days go on, I expect to see the stock begin to climb further from here. Okay. In the not so distant future, I think we're going to be breaking into the $9, $10+ level over the next month or so. Now, I do believe, as kind of a backdrop to this, October, November, December are going to be very strong months. I think the markets are going to do quite well, and I think AI is going to excel. And for Rezolve, you're really just one catalyst away from getting mass market attention. Okay. What do I mean by that? NVIDIA, if they invest in the company, if a prominent firm or individual takes a bullish stance on the company, right? You're one catalyst away from catapulting this thing from only a select group of retail investors that know about it to everyone that knows about it, like a SoundHound or a BBAI or a Nebius or Applied Digital or names like that. Okay. The stock has given you, or I should say the company has given you everything the stock needs to be a $20 or $30 stock today. The question is, when does Wall Street figure out that opportunity? And honestly, with the valuation that the company is currently being given on the marketplace, I think the risk reward is about as good as it comes for a hyper growth company. Like, the valuation has gotten cheaper even since I bought the company at $3 a share. It's kind of crazy. Actually mind-blowing that the company trades at such a low valuation. Now, there's only one piece of news today. Rezolve AI is pleased to announce our participation as a sponsor at E-Tail News Toronto 2025, taking place October 7th through the 8th, so that starts tomorrow. We'll see if we get any news or headlines here, but you can even see on X, only 834 views on this post. Like, that's how undiscovered the stock is. And if you really want those big outsized opportunities, you have to invest in companies before they are discovered. Okay? If you're investing in companies that everyone knows about, the opportunity's gone. The large opportunity. Like, I bought IONQ at $7 a share. The stock today is $78 per share. I bought Applied Digital at $3. The stock is $28 today. I bought Nebius around $22. The stock is $128. I bought Novartis Semiconductor in the $2 range. $1.90 range. The stock is over $7 today. The list goes on. Rezolve I bought in the $2.80 range. Today it's $6.50. It's went up, but it's nowhere close, even remotely close to the kind of valuations that you're seeing in peers. So either Rezolve's valuation is far too low or everyone else's valuation is far too high. I'm going to take the stance that Rezolve's valuation is probably just far too low, then everyone else is far too high. Okay, so it's only a matter of time, in my view, before course correction and Rezolve sees massive upside. Now, I personally believe, just a feeling I have, kind of like I had with Nebius before NVIDIA took a stake, but I do think NVIDIA might take a stake in the company, which would be that catalyst to give you really that mainstream attention. Now, short interest of free float currently sits at about 8% on the company, so it's not that high, which is a good sign. Dollar amount sold short in the company, about 84 million. You do have 12.36 million shares sold short. And today it looks like about 800,000 shares are being sold short. Now, this company is largely bought and held by 10% institutions, 40% insiders, about 40% retail, 14% private companies. So there's not a lot of shares freely trading out there. Once you do get an influx of buying pressure, it's going to have a huge impact on the stock in relatively short fashion. Like, Rezolve is one of those explosive companies, and it can go up with little warning. Now, with this inverse head and shoulders pattern, you want to really see the stock hold that $6.50 level. If you don't, you want to see the stock at least hold $6.28. If you don't hold that, then it doesn't look great, okay? Because then you're getting back into the neckline, right? But as long as you can hold above $6.28 per share, the inverse head and shoulders pattern holds. And what I would expect to see is a bounce back into the $8 range. Once you get a break above about $7.50 per share or so, that's when you confirm the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And that's really when the upside begins. That's when you're going to see the stock, I believe, make a run into the 10s. And that could happen in the month of October. Now, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I do have a big stake in the company. Let me share that with you now. In this portfolio, I have 12,000 shares. Current market value, 78,000. Unrealized return, 42,000. Up 118%. So that's 12,000 shares there. In this portfolio, I have 14,000 shares. Average cost, $2.96. Market value, about 91,000. Total return, 49,000. Up 118%. I do have these 15 Rezolve 250 calls expiring February 20th. Current market value, $6,150, up $4,575. They're basically just working dollar for dollar at this point. So it's basically like having an additional 1,500 shares. So 1,500 plus 12,000 plus 14,000. Right there alone is 27,500 shares worth of exposure in the company. I do have another 1,000 shares in Webull and 1,300 shares in Thinkorswim. So that brings it total to 29,800 shares in the company worth of exposure times $6.48, meaning I have $193,104 in exposure in the company. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong big. If I'm going to be right, I'm going to be right big. Okay? Take that into account when you listen to these videos. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. But the numbers are the numbers. The stock is trading at a substantial discount to its relative peers. Substantial discount. There's nothing else like it in the markets. For a hyper-growth company, for a company that just raised guidance 50%, that is targeting hundreds of percentage points in growth for next year. There's no other opportunity like Rezolve in the AI space by far. If there's another company that's even remotely close to some of the things we're talking about in this video, besides Rezolve, let me know the stock down below in the comment section, because I can't find it. There's nothing even close to Rezolve. And again, the stock is cheaper today than it's ever been. Put that into kind of your thought process as well. And the opportunity is compelling, to say the least. That's why I have so much money invested in this one single company. The big question, again, is when does the stock go from an under the radar company to something that most people know about? I don't know when that happens or what the catalyst is, but that is the catalyst. We have everything else in place for the valuation to explode from here. But you need the buyers. You need people to know about the company. That's it at this point. I don't know when it happens, but I believe it will happen. Hopefully in the next couple of months. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below in the comment section if you want a video made on the stock that I just bought today. Brand new position. Honestly, it's one of those very compelling opportunities. Let me know down below in the comment section if you want a video going over that stock. And we'll see what we can do to put it together. But again, if you guys want to come join the trading community where we are going out finding these undervalued opportunities in quantum and AI, software, robotics, biopharmas, gene editing, energy, main themes over the next 10, 20, 30 years, investing in these companies early, getting in at the ground floor level before the hype, check that link out down below in the description of today's episode. But that is it. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.